nerderotic.com.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, you're beautiful. You're all beautiful people. I appreciate all of that fake applause. Welcome back to the Nerdrotic Nooner. My name is Gary Beekler, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com, and I am live in San Diego County, California. How much longer? I don't know. I think we are 6 months away, but I have an update on that, so I'll let you know about my Cal exit in a little bit. I found a place I really liked. It's a little too soon, but sometimes you just got to go for it. Anyway, so let's see who is here as people start to roll in. We've got, what did I do there? We've got, okay, I'll just do it this way. U.S. Dutch Kitty. Draco, what's up? And we also have, this is way too far away. Mikey Gusler, greetings. Phil G, hello. And I got to make sure my chat is moving. There we go. Perry Chan is here. And Grievian, Eric K and his wrench. Metal Muggin, TOS, Mark Stevens, DJ Spleener, Bastard. Hey, I'm a bastard too. Mephisto Zarzis and Cosmic Squirrel, Juzma, Banjo Boy, and Tim McManamy. Oh my, how do you say that name? McManamy. Got it. And Lady Greymaster, the producer of the show. Hello. Isaac Guppy, Mark Lerzeth and his wrench. Hail, everyone. How's your hump day going so far? Mine is going splendid, I guess. Kind of. What are we going to talk about today? Oh, Tom Cruise had a little tantrum last night, and it has been a while since we've had a genuine, good old-fashioned Hollywood adult pretender rant. Now, it wasn't as good as Christian Bale's, and there's a lot of perspectives on this, and I will certainly go over mine and yours in this live stream. Got some very interesting news concerning Star Trek. We don't know if it's true. It's a rumor. It comes from the site Giant Freaking Robot, and it's been run by a couple of other access media sites, and we'll see what that's all about, because I'll give you a little hint. If it's true, it's CBS admitting failure with Star Trek. And, well, we'll get there. We'll get there. And the one thing that wasn't really talked about, because Star Wars dominated the Disney conversation, at least in our sphere, was the Marvel stuff. So we're going to go over a little bit of the Marvel stuff, including the MCU. It's on its way. It's going to D+, and get ready for a better, bestester Iron Man who is Ironheart. It'll be a young black female named Riri Wilson and Riri Williams. Riri Williams. What the hell did I say Wilson for? And she is smarter than Tony Stark. She built her suit. She got access to his stuff and built a better suit. She's just better in every single way. And then we also have the Fister coming in, Miss Marvel, and her big fists coming into the MCU. And I'm sure that's just going to be successful, because according to the Disney investor meeting or whatever the hell that was. She is an incredibly popular character, just immensely popular. Now, I don't know, maybe, this is Disney trying to create truth and trying to force stuff on us. And you think they would have learned from the comic books, but that's the difference between Hollywood now and Hollywood before 2015. They are ignoring data that is right in front of them because it might break their worldview. So they're just going to run with this, and if it burns everything down, well, I'd rather be right than, I don't know, have a secure place to live and be able to pay my bills. That's what it seems to be at this point. And if we aren't right, we'll make it right. We'll tell you how to think. And Disney's a big part of that. And so is the BBC, which apparently is on the verge of collapse. Not sorry to hear it at all. I wonder if it has anything to do with not having a legit Top Gear and not serving the entirety of the British population, having a really crappy Doctor Who show. I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. First, I think we should deal with Tom Cruise. Tom's shouting coach for £5 says, "Hail, Gary. My son has been reading comics, but the missus wants him to have educational things. Might get away with it if any issues teach about history." You would have to dig for it, but I mean, if you're looking for academic comics, I would stay as far away from those things as you possibly could because they are filled with agenda. There's some classic comics, but it doesn't really deal with history. I would, I don't know, talk to the missus and tell her that there are comics taught in courses in universities, although that's not a selling point to me anymore, to be honest with you. And maybe tell her that I learned to read on comic books, and so did a lot of people from my generation. So, of course he's got to get an education, but reading is reading. Reading is reading. Now, I wouldn't have him read any modern comic books. I would go back to the 90s and below. So we got little Tommy here. Let me cue this up, get the sound going, and we will hear what Tom had to say. So I watched the video raw first, and I had a different perspective once I found out the details. So Tom Cruise, I'm sure you've heard, this thing has been watched 6.4 million times. And everybody and his uncle and his uncle's niece has made a video on this. I just didn't have time, so I'll put it in a live stream. And I had a different perspective after, just listening to the video without reading the article. Then I read the article and you find out the context of the situation. So Tom Cruise went off on his crew because they were not adhering to the COOF protocols. This production of, and by the way, we're talking about the 7th Mission Impossible movie here. We're not talking about, making the next great classic. We're not talking about making a first James Bond film, or I don't know, just think of a classic, which I can't. We're not making The Godfather here. We're making the 7th Mission Impossible film. So, and this production had been shut down before because a bunch of the crew or some extras got the COOF in Italy. And Tom Cruise does not want this production shut down. Now, one perspective could be that Tom Cruise is well off and he doesn't have a thing to worry about, and he's actually looking out for the people working on this film. I think that might be part of the motivation. Certainly, he does bring it up. I would default towards Hollywood pretender ego, though, and grandstanding, and I don't mind that he yelled at people. I know some people are going, he was very abusive to the crew. That doesn't bother me at all. That's Hollywood. That's light. That is tame. That is absolutely tame with what goes on. And each film, even a seventh Mission Impossible film, is treated like you are creating something that will change the world. Like babies will be fed from this film across the earth. Starvation will be solved. We will solve racism and sexism with the seventh Mission Impossible film. They really believe this stuff. And that's part of the reason why it's gone to crap over the last few years, instead of like, we really want to entertain people. Now, if you take his rant and if you apply that to customer service, you know, the business that creatives don't think they're in, but they are, because this is the 21st century and we have direct contact with you now. If he was yelling at crew members for going on Twitter and acting the fool, I would love this kind of, that kind of rant. And who knows, maybe that's happened behind the scenes. I highly doubt it though. But Hollywood certainly needs a good ass chewing and ass whooping because of that. As far as COOF restrictions, we can debate them all day. I'm not going to debate them here. I'm just not. And the mask stuff, the restrictions are the restrictions, and you have to adhere to them. But everybody was wearing their mask, and apparently they were just looking at footage, and they were a little bit too close together. If you look at Tom Cruise's perspective on this, if one picture gets out of people not adhering to COOF guidelines, the newly minted Essential Hollywood would look like, I don't know, the politicians who made those rules. So I don't know what the problem would really be. But then there's also Tom Cruise is crazy. I mean, like, you know, we've all seen his act. We know about the Scientology thing. But the one thing I don't have a problem with is the yelling. I love these. I think they're funny as hell. And yeah, you got to feel sorry for the person on the other side of that, but then you have to ask that person, you sat there and took it. Yeah, it might cost you your job. Is your job that important to you? If I have been yelled at before in the past. I was very young. So, I mean, I didn't know what to do at the time. And then I got yelled at once when I was older, and it never happened again at that place. Never happened again. Because I let the guy say his piece, and then I tore into him. And then I told him, I don't need this job. You can go F yourself. And they kept me for some reason. Don't know why. Probably because I told the guy to go F himself, and I wasn't going to take that crap. And they might have respected it. I don't know. But they kept me after that. And that was the GM I talked to. So here we go. Let's listen to this. It was at an auto dealership. Do we want a full screen? Oh, we can just see this.
You're back there in Hollywood making movies right now because of us. Because they believe in us and what we're doing. I'm on the phone with every studio at night. Insurance companies. Producers. And they're looking at us and using us to make their movies. We are creating thousands of jobs, you I don't ever want to see it again. Ever. And if you don't do it, you're fired. And I see you do it again, you're gone. And anyone on this crew does it. That's it. And you too, and you too, and you. Don't you ever do it again. That's it.
Is that it?
No apologies. You can tell it to the people that are losing their homes because our industry is shut down. It's not going to put food on their table or pay for their college education. That's what I sleep with every night. And the future of the industry.
He sleeps with the future of the industry. I wonder who I wonder who they are. Sorry. I lost my place there.
The future of the industry. So I'm sorry, I'm beyond your apologies. I have told you And now I want it. And if you
I'm sorry. I'm beyond your apologies. I love that one.
don't do it, you're out. We are not shutting this movie down. Is it understood? If I see it again, you're gone. And so are you. So you're going to cost him his job. And I see it on the set, you're gone. And you're gone. That's it. Am I clear? Do you understand what I want? Do you understand the responsibility that you have? Because I will deal with
He's starting to mellow out now.
And if you can't be reasonable, and I can't deal with your logic, you're fired. That's it. That is it.
That was right at the tail end. It's like, oh, I went a little bit too far. I started repeating myself and talking about logic and reason and your logic and my reason. All right. So, very repetitive. He sleeps with the future of the industry, and he's sorry that he doesn't want to hear your apologies. Okay. What it sounds like to me is this is Tom Cruise under pressure. And you know what? You can kind of go two ways with this. Maybe he's aware of the gravity of the situation, that Hollywood is now under a microscope because they have been deemed essential. And I have heard that they're not really happy that they were deemed essential over other people because they fear they are going to be a lightning rod for a lot of anger, which is absolutely true, which is 100% true. But my theory is, at least in this state, Chairman Newsom gave them that essential status because of Disney, because he was forced to shut down their parks, shut down the movie theaters, and he wanted to throw them a bone. And supposedly they have state-of-the-art COOF restrictions, and an entire industry has been built up with these safety regulations, and look for that to come to the private sector near you. And what Tom Conkle said on Midnight's Edge, he said it's adding to the cost of each production somewhere, or he said, just a ballpark of 30% to each production. And maybe Tom is aware he is in his last movie. Maybe this is the last 2-hour movie that is made to be put into theaters. We don't know if this will make it in the theaters. We don't know if there'll be any theaters left. It's a couple of years away, but there isn't going to be a single theater. Oh, I can't say that. There aren't going to be many theaters, at least in New York and California, where it's going to be opened at full capacity for the next calendar year. I think we've all read the tea leaves on that one, and they've straight up told us. And I told you in my last live stream, I'll repeat it here. My AA sponsor is a men's health physician, and he told me that when the vaccine gets out, if you want to take it, the Joe and Jill public are not going to be able to get it until the end of the year, roughly at the earliest. And it's going to go to medical workers and all that stuff. If you want it. So I think that sounds like a guy under pressure, and he doesn't want his production to look bad because he is a raging egomaniac. And sometimes that gets things done. I understand that. Again, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with being yelled at or yelling at people. Again, I've been yelled at work. I've been yelled at plenty by my pops, by friends, by my wife. It's part of life, and it's how you take that stuff. I'm looking what's trending here. Why is it all caps? He said the line. He said the thing. Oh, whatever. God, screw Twitter. I don't want to look at it anymore. Go away. Get out of my face. But I watched Jeremy's video. I watched Az's video. Who else? I watched Memology's video. And yeah, I think there's just a lot of different perspectives on this. I think Tom Cruise is a crazy, raging maniac, adult pretender. But I've also heard him do really cool things. When I was working down in Hollywood, he was working on one of the Mission Impossible film was filming in 2010. And one of the crew members' moms down in South America, it's a South American country, had cancer, and he flew her up to the United States with the family and paid her medical bills, the whole lot, just for one crew member. So like, you get the good with the bad with these extremes. So, and you don't, and that's not a thing he wanted publicized or anything. That was, and he's done stuff like that before. So you don't want to judge him too harshly, I guess. I don't hate Tom Cruise. He just plays the same character. I've never been crazy about the Mission Impossible franchise, ever since they made Mr. Phelps the bad guy. If I had a YouTube channel when Mission Impossible, the first one, came out, it would have been a year of me bitching about Mr. Phelps being the bad guy. That's like remake. It's almost like if JJ went out and remade Star Trek and made Kirk the villain. It would be the same thing. It was ridiculous because I love that show. Now some of the movies after have been pretty good, but not great. Not great. So yeah, I mean, like it's funny. I wish we'd get more of these. I love them, and you are looking, and that's when you see real Hollywood. That's the rare occasion you see real Hollywood when their guards are down and they're frustrated with their pretending. And of course, there's something else. Like nobody goes off like that unless there's something else bothering them. And maybe the lockdown is getting to him too, like it's getting everybody else. So he decided to take it out on a bunch of crew who were standing a little bit too close together. Me, I'm not going to freak out over that. Now, I am completely aware of COOF guidelines, and that whole essential argument. I just want to repeat it here. I don't like the fact that Hollywood is deemed essential over gyms and restaurants because they're not. I think everyone's essential. I want Hollywood working. I do. I want the restaurants working, and I want the gyms open. And I'm okay if there's some guidelines, if they are evenly implemented, if they make sense, they're based on actual science and not partisan science, and they are the implementation is communicated well in advance. We have a plan, and then we stick to that plan, because you're not dealing with one business, and especially the politicians in this state, they really like to talk about marginalized people and empathy, but they have no idea. They have no connection with the real world. They have no connection with business. Most of them have never owned a business. London Breed, the mayor of San Francisco, has never worked a day in her life in the private sector. So she's making business decisions based on no experience whatsoever. And if we had all gotten together and just had one plan and just stuck with it and kept everybody open while being safe, while protecting the most vulnerable, our economy would have survived. And, it still might. I don't know. I don't want to sound all dire. I'm not taking any black pills here, but we got to be realistic too. And I think Tom just showed you that Hollywood is not in great shape. If you watch that Disney presentation, man, everything's awesome. No problem. No theaters, no parks. We got this. We have D+. And we're going to put 50,000 shows on it. And we're going to repurpose every announcement we made over the last 3 years. And we're going to lie to you a lot. And we're going to put up a big disclaimer at the beginning telling you that these could be lies. This could be complete BS. And then we're going to say we whooped Warner Brothers' ass by not actually releasing very much in 2021. And the last time I checked, Warner Brothers' 2021 slate is coming out in 2021. Advantage Warner Brothers, in my opinion. Warner Brothers effed everyone, dropped a bomb on Hollywood and Disney, and it was glorious. It was glorious because they are acting like a company who's absolutely desperate, and they are, Disney doesn't like to show that. They don't like to show kinks in their armor and stuff. And yeah, you want to project success all the time, But I think, I don't know, I have a lot more respect for people who, who admit that they're fallible, once in a while. You can admit you're fallible. Things aren't going that great. And, once in a while you get a director like with Sonic going, you know what? You guys really hated that thing, and I'm going to acknowledge it. What can we do to change it? My God, if we heard that from anybody else in Hollywood, a lot less people would be pissed at him right now. Now, people are pissed at Hollywood, and I don't know if they quite understand how many people are pissed at him and are done with him, which makes it very hard to cover pop culture. But yeah, just imagine if somebody from, say, Doctor Who had reached out to the fandom and acknowledged that, we're making a very drastic change right now, and we don't want to alienate any of you. So we're going to do our best to ingratiate the new Doctor, the female Doctor. She's going to go out and kiss babies and shake hands and work with the public and go to as many cons as possible. And we're going to talk to you and we're going to really try at this. No, because that wasn't their motivation. Their motivation was to pick a female Doctor to piss you off. And then when you got pissed off, because they knew they would piss you off, that's exactly what they were waiting for. And then they could start their new, Ghostbusters marketing campaign, which worked oh so well. It worked for a single episode and destroyed a 50-year franchise, 50-plus year franchise. That's Hollywood. That's the BBC. The BBC's wondering why they're crumbling right now. Well, maybe if you listened to the other side and gave them a voice and heard them once in a while, it might be different. Too late now. Oh, don't think you can, because things might be going your way that, you want to make it okay with some people. It's not going to be okay with some people. And it's going to take a lot of work. As much work as you put into pissing people off, you're going to have to put into getting a few of them back. And that's it. You're just getting a few of them back. But yeah, if Tom Cruise's rant was related to, if it was, Ethan mentioned this in his video, if somebody in the comic book industry had made that rant to the repurposers, the destroyers in the comic book industry, they would have cried and left. But that's what they needed. And, if that went towards, why don't you not disrespect the paying customer? That kind of, it would be beautiful if that was applied to that, not COOF restrictions. Mikey Gussler. Oh my God, Mikey Gussler. That is a lot of super chats. We'll go through them. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 $5 super chats. Thank you, Mikey. He wants to talk about some Snyder Cut. Snyder said that his cut of Justice League will probably be rated R because of the profanity and violence. Batman says an F-bomb and villain cuts people in half. I don't have a problem with the latter. I don't know why Batman needs to drop an F-bomb. I just don't know why that's necessary. That seems too crass for somebody who was raised very rich, and also, yeah, it just seems too crass for Batman to me. I don't love everything about Snyder's decisions with that, and it's its own world, and it's fine. But I don't like Ezra Miller as Flash. I think it's terrible. I think there are some things, but I like Ben Affleck. Snyder answered a fan's question on Vero yesterday about when his cut will be released. His response was the first quarter of 2021. I'm thinking March. I agree, Mikey. I agree. Snyder shared a post on Vero, which details that 2 out of the 4 episodes of his cut is finished editing. We are getting closer, Gary. That's good. Snyder posted a photo on Vero today of his cut of Justice League being shown on an IMAX screen. It looks beautiful and the effects look to be nearly complete. I'm getting super hyped, I can tell, for the Snyder Cut. I sent you a photo of the Snyder Cut showed in IMAX on Twitter DM. I will take a look at it, Michael. Yeah, get freaking hyped, dude. I'm glad you're hyped, and I'm glad somebody's hyped about something. The one thing the Snyder Cut won't have, well, we'll find out. We're going to find out. Because if that skinhead scene is in there where he's attacking the market, I want to know if that was Whedon or if that was Snyder. That's what I want to know. I have my suspicions. But I don't think it's going to be filled with intersectional feminism and identity politics. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope it's great. I hope it's great. The one thing I don't want is it to be a dud, because you guys would take a beating. Oh, you would. I know you would you'd be ready for it, but I think it'll be all right. I think it'll be all right, and I will review it. I am looking forward to it. And it's going to be looked back on as it's going to be looked back on as where the future started. So you're going to take movies and you're going to turn them into long format prestige TV shows. That is my prediction for the Dune sequel. So if Dune is successful, meaning it brings in subscribers and it does pretty well in the movie theaters, then they'll probably keep it going and they'll repurpose it into a series, which I think would make much more sense. Now, I don't know if you keep Denis Villeneuve, but I think it would make more sense if it was a series. Then you have a chance to be quit trying to be the next Lord of the Rings. Nobody's going to be the next Lord of the Rings. It's like trying to be the next Star Wars. It ain't happening. But if you want to be the next Game of Thrones and do one better, go for it. That's out there for the taking. Night Ninja for $4.99. Thank you for introducing me to The Expanse. I'm on season 3 now. So far, Amos is my favorite character for being so black and white. Yes, he is my favorite character as well. And the show is brilliant. The first 3 episodes were fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Good TV is out there. It exists, ladies and gentlemen, and we can be happy about that. All right. Let's go to some Star Trek news, shall we? All right. We've got some Star Trek news. But the first thing I want to read is this. The first thing I would like to read is this. So I like to remind everybody about this. This is from Michael Chabon, and he is the showrunner was the showrunner for Star Trek Picard. He no longer is. Now, I want you to compare this with the showrunners for The Expanse, Naren Shankar, who doesn't say things like this, who just talks about his show, and doesn't go into his show trying to piss off fans. And this is what Marvel Comics is doing. We're going to talk more about this. This is what Marvel Comics' intention has been from the beginning. This is the intention of a lot of people, and this is part of the quote-unquote infiltration. I don't know if Michael Chabon was always like this. He lived in Berkeley, but I never remember him being so antagonistic towards fans, but he was asked directly. So were there things about Picard that you wanted to do that you could sense would test some boundaries for fans? Sure. To the extent that I was aware of a kind of toxic fandom, the anti-SJW, sad little corner of fandom. You just disregard that. Okay, he says you just disregard that. Then he says this: sometimes you're motivated to have things simply because it possibly is going to piss off or provoke people who seem to have missed the memo about just what exactly Star Trek is and always has been all about. I like to repeat that because that is, again, look, you're getting a little view behind the curtain of Hollywood, and he was a little truthful there, and I guarantee you this is what Chris Chibnall thinks, J.J. Abrams, Alex Kurtzman, Kathleen Kennedy. I hope Kevin Feige doesn't think like this. I really don't, but I'm starting to wonder. Just a reminder, Kevin Feige runs Marvel Comics. And we are going to talk about Star-Lord as well. So the interesting news from Star Trek is the current Star Trek series beaming over to Netflix. Now, this rumor originated at Giant Freaking Robot. I have some unsolicited advice for Giant Freaking Robot, and this is why I'm not reading your article. I don't have a problem with you guys. You've talked about my stuff before, and I really appreciate it. In the third paragraph of your article, you flex. You say, we heard this rumor from somebody who gave us a Wonder Woman rumor, and we were absolutely right about that, and we broke that, and we're awesome and great. It's like you don't need to flex like that. You don't need to, if you are confident in your source, you don't need to prove anything beyond that. You're on the website, just let your information speak for itself. And yeah, because I find that to be incredibly cringe. It's just like a YouTuber, if somebody pops off or if somebody goes after you on Twitter and you come back at them with, I've got 300,000 subscribers and 25,000 followers on, blah, 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 which means jack squat. I mean, I appreciate it. I am, and I am grateful for it, but I'm not, to use it to shame somebody or say I'm better than you. I mean, that is weak. So yeah, I just, that's why I'm not reading the article. All right. Star Trek Discovery might be going to Netflix along with Picard. And according to one of my insiders, Secret Hideout is trying to force it on Netflix. I don't know how anybody forces anything on Netflix, but maybe they're trying. And they've kind of gone rogue. And you have to ask yourself, isn't CBS All Access just about to get rebranded into Paramount Plus? Why in the hell would you basically license out or sell off your flagship crown jewel franchise, and you're going to have to compete with them on Netflix? And the logic behind it makes no sense, but we're going to go over it anyway. Oh, wow. Maybe I shouldn't have gone to this article because it starts out with the Stark Trek. What's Stark Trek? Is it Tony Stark Trek or Ned Stark Trek? Stark Trek has been hard at work with a variety of new series over the last few years. Over at CBS All Access, you can find series like Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Picard, the animated Star Trek Lower Decks, and short treks. While some of us Trekkies have, you mean Stark Trekkers or Stark Trekkies, followed each of these, apparently there has been an issue with viewership. This is leading CBS to start to possibly ponder making the move. God, I'm going to have to go back to Giant Freaking Robot now. Because this is shill, so they're going to leave out the most interesting statement. So here we go. Giant Freaking Robot, who likes to flex in their articles. We have exclusively learned that CBS is working on bringing its new Star Trek shows to Netflix in the United States. Currently, the company has 4 new Trek series running, and I just named them all. All 4 have struggled to find an audience, and while some might blame the quality of the shows, I would say most. I would say everyone except for a few people on this platform and a few people at CBS and everyone who actually works on the show. My sources at CBS tell me, this is great, this is rich, they think the big problem is getting the word out about CBS All Access. Okay. Well, CBS All Access isn't going to be around much longer, so I don't know why you would need to get the word out. You would want to get the word out on Paramount Plus. Now, apparently it's just going to be a rebranding, so it's going to be the same crap platform, and they're just going to put a Paramount Plus on it. They've tried to raise awareness in the past by broadcasting some Star Trek Discovery episodes on the CBS network proper. Yes, it was currently running on CBS, and they did show the premiere episode when on CBS, and it did get good ratings. Got like 8 to 10 million people watched it. And then it went over to CBS All Access and got like 300,000 views because nobody followed it. They watched the one episode, kind of like, I don't know, Doctor Who Series 11. They got one, good look at it, and that was enough. But it didn't work when it went over there. The show only scored a 0.2 rating. That's in 18 to 49. It had 1.5 to 1.8 million viewers watching. It's still not very good in a country of 331 million people when you air it on primetime on Thursday, but they needed the ad money apparently. When it aired on network television, so now, according to my sources, CBS is considering bringing some of its streaming Star Trek programming to Netflix instead. Again, this makes no sense. If you want your streaming network to survive, your streaming network needs to be the only place you can find Star Trek. Am I going to go, I want to watch Star Trek tonight? I think I'll watch it on the janky CBS All Access that still has audio issues and it still drops frames like crazy or pauses in the middle. Or am I going to go to Netflix where I can watch it in a beautiful 4K. Not any of the new garbage, but the old stuff. And I don't know if it's all in 4K, but you can watch some stuff in 4K, and it's damn good. It's damn good. That's how far ahead Netflix is, by the way. Their 4K is pretty damn good. You know what this is, though? If this is actually happening, this is CBS admitting failure. That Star Trek has struggled to find an audience, which is interesting because we have been told it's one of the most popular shows on streaming. According to Parrot Analytics, it was the 4th most watched show on all of streaming, including shows like Stranger Things and The Witcher and The Expanse, everything. It was number 4, according to Parrot Analytics, who follows hashtags and stuff, although it never, and I mean never, trended once on Twitter. Still doesn't to this very day. I was also a little disappointed to not see The Expanse trending either. Maybe that changes today. I hope that changes today. So were they lying to us? Oh, they wouldn't lie to us, would they? Star Trek Picard, Star Trek Discovery do not have a following that's worth talking about. It's not a following that makes this a top tier franchise. As a matter of fact, according to Fansided, here we can look this up right now. According to Fansided, I'm going to give you where it ranks. Where did you go? There it is, right there. We're going to go to the list of the 250 most popular pop stars, movie stars, bands, sports teams, everything mixed, all franchises mixed. Now, I'll say Star Trek finished well ahead of Doctor Who, which was 201st. Star Trek is 158th. And somehow it made it to 12 in television, but behind shows that are canceled, like Friends. And there's only 18 television shows on this entire list. And it's because they were running in the last year or they are currently running. It's a pretty sad list. And that's where we are with Star Trek. This is where they flex. According to my exclusive source, CBS believes that by offering up some of its Star Trek shows to Netflix users, viewers who are already primed to spend money on streaming, they'll be able to get crossover to CBS All Access. So they're in negotiations to bring Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Picard, Lower Decks, and the short treks, and I'm assuming Strange New Worlds, over to Netflix. Star Trek already has a strong presence on Netflix. Several other older Star Trek shows like Star Trek Enterprise are currently available to watch there via legacy streaming deals with Netflix. So a Star Trek fan base does exist on Netflix, and in many cases, they still haven't crossed over to CBS All Access. Why? You think it's just lack of awareness? It's been out there. You forgot to mention that they offered free episodes on YouTube. And they didn't get very many views. It was just for a day. You forget that when there's certain posts, every time they did a con and they went live, they turned off the comments or they deleted comments. They deleted dislikes. YouTube deleted dislikes for them, compromising the integrity of this platform. By the way, I really appreciate you're here. I really appreciate you found. I have been in a doghouse where my notifications aren't going out, and I usually don't believe in this kind of stuff, but when my notifications didn't go out for my members stream, which goes exclusively to my members who are a big part of this channel, and I love them, and I do a live stream with you guys once a week and I'm about to make that twice. And it just didn't. It happened to Doomcock as well on the same day. Now, it might have something to do with the big algorithmic change that happened earlier or just last week. Another one. We've had so many since the election. It's been very odd. And I remind you, prior to the election, this channel was growing like crazy. And Quartering, and I really thank the Quartering for making a video and bringing it out, because it wasn't just happening to me. Okay, it was happening to other up and coming channels, which is probably going to frustrate the hell out of them and make them stop. And we want new people to come on this platform all the time. We need different voices, new voice. You always want to hear, we want different voices. No, you don't want different voices. No, you don't. And I think after YouTube's decision a couple of weeks ago, a lot of people just decided to leave. So yeah, I was working on a plan B, but then it got taken over by me going to Texas. But now I'm back to working on plan B as well, because, I don't need to sleep. I really don't. Whether it'll only be older episodes of Discovery Picard and possibly Lower Decks, which will show up on Netflix, or whether they'll actually get the air to air the new ones when they're released, remains to be seen. Netflix would obviously like new episodes, but CBS selling them the rights to those would probably mean they're finally giving up on CBS All Access as a going concern, or as it concerns, I guess. It's worth noting that CBS and Netflix have already closed some other deals recently, deals which would bring other new CBS shows to the uber-sized streaming platform. For instance, CBS just licensed the first season of the show Evil and Unicorn to Netflix, and rather than hoarding it for proprietary viewing on their own streaming service. Dude, that's how your streaming service grows. So that is Viacom CBS admitting failure. And this is going to be the future for a lot of streaming services. You're going to see them. You're going to see big corporations who used to be the big dogs, who used to be the gatekeepers. They are now going to be the gatekeepies. They're now going to have to go with their hat in their hand and go to Mr. Netflix, please. Will you show we'll license our show? And Netflix is all, yep. Pennies on the dollar, buddy. Sure thing. You tried to compete against us, and now you found out how hard it is, and you want to come back. Well, that's going to cost you. That is going to cost you dearly. And CBS won't be important. The one leg up they have on everything right now is live television, but that is dying. And working together on Star Trek is the biggest play possible. If I was Netflix, I would just buy Star Trek. You could own Star Trek, shit can everything Kurtzman did, and start anew. Now, Netflix would probably be just as woke, to be real. Now, Netflix hasn't started making their own stuff yet. They have production companies do it, but Amazon is starting to build studios, and so is Netflix. So I think that's about to change, or they have built studios already. Listen, what do I think is going to happen? Viacom is probably going to have to sell. They're going to give it a go, and then they're going to have to sell to Apple, to Netflix or Amazon. And that's going to be the case for MGM. It's going to be the case for a lot of littler studios. Disney will stay Disney. I know there was that rumor of Apple buying Disney. That would be, I don't know. You can't put it out of the realm of possibility. I never thought Star Wars would sell. I never thought Marvel was. When Marvel sold, I was floored. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? Yeah. So I'm not going to, this has gone beyond the streaming wars. Warner Brothers has created the Hollywood wars. They are pissed, and it's going to get more cutthroat than ever, and it'll be fun to chronicle. It will. This, though, I think the big takeaway from this, I would have reworked this headline. I would have said CBS admits failures with Alex Kurtzman's Star Trek. That would have got a lot more eyes on your article, and you still could have, because that's what this is. If you have to give it to Netflix instead of airing it on your streaming service, that means you have a problem. Guess what's going to happen when it goes to Netflix, though? A few more people are going to see that it sucks and not watch it. I don't know if you want more people to watch it. I don't know why they give Alex Kurtzman so many chances. I know they have a lot of money and time, but it's to a ridiculous point now. You even have the Star Trek fandom reevaluating right now, going, oh, maybe this thing really does suck. Maybe maybe it's a sort of discovery, shall we say, that they're figuring out that they have a giant space turd on their hands with a lot of crying, a lot of forced fake drama, and a hell of a lot of Michael Burnham and Star Trek Picard doing the most damage to the franchise possible. And that was because of Sir Patrick Stewart, which makes it all the harder. That's why he's the Benedict Arnold of Star Trek. Damn shame. I used to respect the hell out of that guy. Christmas time is coming. He used to do a one-man show, A Christmas Carol. I saw it like 8 times. I went to 2 shows in a row one time. He'd do it up in Irvine. He'd also do it at UCLA. And it was brilliant. It was so good. I have it on disc and I listened to it. It's so damn good. Christmas Carol, right? I said A Christmas Carol. Sometimes I don't know what I said. Star Trek admits failure. Welcome to the party. What were we saying a couple of weeks ago? A lot of people are coming over to our side now. It reminds me of After the Timeless Children, when a lot of people came over. And our side is, we want good Doctor Who. That's all. That's all. But what did they do in the latest trailer, which I haven't really reacted to for you guys? They brought back a beloved character, Captain Jack, and then they belittled him within a 1-minute trailer. It was freaking Yaz who does it. Then they bring back the most hated character in one of the most hated episodes of all time, Robertson, who's the Orange Man bad stand-in. And we have one of those in Wonder Woman too. Wonder Woman's going to suck. I hope I'm wrong. I like Gal Gadot. That's how you say it. We figured, Jeremy figured that out on Friday Night Tights. By the way, thanks everyone for tuning into Friday Night Tights and turning it into the success it is. It's a hell of a lot of fun. And we will have a Christmas Day episode. It will only be 2 hours, so we can let the co-hosts, be with their families and stuff, and including yours truly. And it's just going to be us. We were trying to find a guest, couldn't find a guest for obvious reasons. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to put anybody in that position. I can force the other guys to work. I mean, I could ask the other guys to work. No, I'm just kidding. They all agreed to. And we're going to have a special Christmas episode. What we're going to do, I don't know. We're going to read the entire Santa's Husband, but we're all going to read it. We're all going to take a page, so it'll be fun. It'll be fun. But thank you. Thank you, everyone who has subscribed, who has stuck with this channel. It's been weird, but I get a lot of really cool messages that people really enjoyed the live streams during the lockdown, and to help them get through. And it reminds me when I was going through my hard time, and I was listening to a lot of talk radio, and it just helped. So it was nice to hear that. It's really nice to hear that. And you guys helped me as well. Where did I go? There we go. Shade of the evening. Big Game of Thrones fan, Westworld HBO actor to play a Valyrian is black. They have silver hair, pale skin, and purple eyes. Stop shoving SJW down my throat. They did not. Shade of the evening cast really? Valyrians have purple eyes and white hair. You could have, there's diversity in Westeros. That's ridiculous. I don't know why they're doing that. The Valyrians have a specific look. Well, it's going to be the same thing for Lord of the Rings. Boy. Sorry to hear that. Thanks for the $5. And listen, again, there's diversity in Game of Thrones. There's no reason you can't cast a lot of black actors because they're all over the place in the book. It's not like they're not represented. And you can and you can put them in Dorne. I mean, you can put them all over. Bastard, and it's fine. It's fine. You just want to be, okay. Bastard for $4.99. Since strip clubs were open, I decided to go hopping to catch the cooch open up. Bastard, thank you for sharing that. Yes, the strip clubs are open, but churches are not. I think they should both be open, personally. I don't know what the difference is. I think there's a lot less contact in church than there is in a strip club, but that's me. And I'm saying that I'm not a religious person. I'm an agnostic. Again, the strippers got to work. That's cool. I think a lot of people will like to get their spiritual on too. Modalicious for $2. An Australian source reported the vax contains, I can't read that. Modalicious. Come on, man. Come on. I can't read that. I wish I could. But hope if you guys saw it there. Are you trying to get me in trouble, dude? Thank you for the $2. And I can't make that claim here, man. I mean, dude, I cannot make that claim here. Somebody in Australia said the vax has something in it. I don't know what the source is for that. Yeah. Sorry, buddy. Putin's power squat for €5. CDPR News wasn't enough to release a buggy game. Now they removed a CCP critical game from the store because gamer complaints done with them. Yeah, CD Projekt Red has fallen from grace. They lied. They knowingly lied, and they removed a game because of Winnie the Pooh. You know how they were saying fuck Naughty Dog? Fuck CD Projekt Red. Sorry. And they did, what I seen of The Witcher 3 is great, but it's certainly looking like we're getting dominated right now. And it's up to us to stop that. And we might have to give up some convenience to do that. The 70s rock fan for 5 Canadian pesos. We need to take off and nuke Disney from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. The only way to be sure with Disney is just don't, listen, I don't support their Star Wars, but I still like some of their Marvel stuff. And while I see a lot of stuff coming, like the MCU, the only great offense they've done is put out a really shitty Captain Marvel movie. The movies have gone downhill. It has seen its best days. I don't think it will never get as near as successful as it was without Robert Downey Jr. Chris Evans, I think he's replaceable. I might be wrong on that one, but I think he's totally replaceable. I think Hemsworth is a better Thor than Evans is a Captain America, but Robert Downey Jr. is going to be tough to replace, although I still think they should recast him. They shouldn't have killed the characters, and it was stupid, but they did it so they could bring in Riri Williams, and they can bring in Sana Amanat's Miss Marvel, and then they're going to try to force them down our throats instead of making them genuine characters, and they're not genuine characters, and that's why they won't work. Those are characters created by the bigotry of low expectations. That is a bunch of dudes at Marvel going, oh, these marginalized people of color aren't talented enough to make it here in this comic industry. We're going to say that we're oppressed because they were oppressed, but we really just don't think so. We have to help them as much as they can instead of, finding a talented, and they do it the laziest way. If they actually believed in black female characters and LGBTQ characters and all these characters, they would build them from the ground up, create a following, because it has worked in the past. Captain Jack Harkness is one of the most popular characters from Doctor Who. In some areas, he's more popular than doctors. Not with me, but with some people. It's because they built that character up from scratch. They cast him right. But you do something like you take Star-Lord and you just arbitrarily turn him bisexual this far into the game. That is your bigotry of low expectations. And the only reason you did it was why I read that Michael Chabon paragraph earlier. They did it to piss you off. And then there was already tweets going, well, the istophobes are going to hate this one. Yay. We just created another enemy. And now we have another reason to live because we stole something from you in the name of progress, but it's actually regressive. Here it is. Here's some early Star-Lord. I was reading these as a kid. This is the Marvel Preview Presents. This is the magazine where Rocket Raccoon, this is not the exact one, but this is the line that Rocket Raccoon and the Guardians of the Galaxy were essentially introduced in. These are comic books that went around the comic book code, so you could have nudity and fun, and they were an adult franchise, right? So, and you got art like this. It's beautiful. Even in black and white, look at these covers. I love these things. Oh my God, I love these things. And that's why I just bought this to decorate on my wall. Now, when you see pages like, hang on, the only argument that might back up the whole, when you see pages like this, you go, okay, maybe they had a point. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's terrible that they did this, that Al Ewing did this. And did Al Ewing ask Steve Englehart if it was okay? Doubt he did. Steve Englehart, the creator of Star-Lord, who's still alive, lives in San Francisco. Shit, he might have been okay with the decision, but I doubt he was even asked. And this is why this whole thing is falling apart. The comic industry is falling apart, and they're just hastening its destruction. Sandman says, runner for 5 Canadian pesos. Hail, Gary. I hope things are good in your world. I wonder how Tom feels about mask exemptions. Hollywood is in their death throes. Love you, man. A lot of people are mad at them. And yeah, I think what you heard in his rant was pure pressure, was him freaking out, was him like, holy shit, our industry is falling apart right now. So he took it out on coof measures. What the hell is going on? Hang on. Just a moment. All right, that's good. I'm just making sure I'm not ghosted. They haven't ghosted in a long time. That's good. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about. Do we want to go to Taika Waititi? Now, let's go to Riri. And then we'll show those Wonder Woman pictures too of I know this is old news, but that's why I'm covering. So, Kevin Feige announces Ironheart series, touts touts her advanced armor. This is from John F. Trent from Bounding into Comics. Thanks again. Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige recently announced a brand new Ironheart TV series for Disney Plus, where he touted her advanced armor. Feige's announcement came during the Disney Investor Day 2020 presentation. Dominique Thorne will play the title role. And as we like to do, both Secret Invasion and Ironheart will tie directly to the MCU feature films, he concluded. Here comes the MCU. He announced Ironheart will be a series on Disney Plus about the genius inventor Riri Williams, who has the most advanced suit of armor since Iron Man's. Well, that's a change because it's supposed to be more advanced. Now, look at that art. Isn't that something? It's something. This comic was canceled, of course. This was presented on Disney's Investor Day. They said it was a highly popular character. Look at the comic art. Look at that compared to what I just showed you. For one, we have all this space right here, and there's supposed to be the enemy within, right? And what is this supposed to be? The Mandarin? Like her version of the Mandarin? I don't know. I see the 10 rings right there. So here's the logo. Here's the sub logo. This is all monochrome, so you can't really see it. So she stands out, which, God, I don't know, it's the inking or the penciling or both. It's terrible. Covers used to be dynamic, and this is utter. I mean, is this progress? Here's the Secret Invasion poster book. Is this progress? I've got more stuff down there. It's not. The answer is fucking no. The real story here is that Robert Downey Jr. said publicly in a room full of people that Ironheart should be in the MCU. I went straight back to the press area afterward and was like, you all heard it. Write that down. Okay. Robert Downey Jr. is going to say on his way out is going to say Ironheart should be in the MCU. All right, Kevin Feige, let's see you put your money where your mouth is. As a matter of fact, I'm going to double dare you on a couple of things, Kevin Feige. First off, in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and I did, this is a little preview of my interview with Eric July yesterday. In Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I want a big old three-way. I want a three-way. I know. I don't even want to. I want you to make Star-Lord full on gay, and I want you to have him have butt sex with Galactus, and real size, and I want it to be vigorous. We'll see how much you believe in the cause. I have a feeling they won't make Peter Quill bisexual at all in the films, and they're just doing it canonically, and they did it as a reaction to Chris Pratt. That's not something I suspect. This is something I know. Chris Pratt simply hasn't talked about his politics. They all of a sudden assume that he is part of the right. And who cares if he is, by the way? And good for him for not spouting off his politics. And good for him for being a good actor. A great Peter Quill. And Al Ewing did this to spite him. That's how fracking petty these people are. So I want a big old three-way between Drax the Destroyer, Galactus, and Peter Quill for a half an hour of screen time. We'll see how much you believe in the cause, Kevin Feige. And I want you to make an Ironheart film with no guest stars, a pure Ironheart story with just Riri Williams. I want you to pump $300 million into that thing and find your top tier director. And let's see if Marvel does that. Make her the center of the MCU. Go ahead. I mean, even your Captain Marvel movie had to have Nick Fury. Now, there was a twist. You ended up destroying the character forever. But you did put your money where your mouth is in that, and you did make $1 billion. So why not do it with Ironheart? I'm sure it'll make another $1 billion. I'm sure it'll do great. You can run that Disney Marvel magic, because Marvel no longer exists. It's Disney Marvel. So that's right. That's my challenge to you, Kevin Feige. A big, sloppy, sweaty 3-way in Guardians of the Galaxy, and you put as much money as you possibly can behind an Ironheart movie. I have a feeling it won't happen. Just me. Oh, they'll put it on Disney Plus. You know, I'm wondering if The Mandalorian is a template for all Disney Plus shows. Now, I haven't seen, is there any other scripted shows that are genre? That I mean, I don't know and I don't care. But I wonder if it's a template. I wonder if WandaVision is going to, if their episodes are going to be 25 to 35 minutes long. Because if that's the case, that is screwing over the investors. Now, the one thing they didn't mention is they only mentioned it for one series, for Obi-Wan, for Star Wars, is it's a one-off. I think most of these series are one-offs, which is fine. But when you say series, people assume more than one season, like we're making more than one season of this. But most of those projects were just repurposed films. So I don't think they're going to be multiple seasons. Time will tell. Disney has made announcements before, so has Marvel, and they've changed them. Loki looks pretty good. I'll admit, the Loki show, I am absolutely interested. I'm going to cover it. I'm going to do reviews on it. Winter Soldier and Falcon, there would have been a time I would have been pretty excited about this. But knowing what I know, it's going to have an Orange Man Bad thing, just like Wonder Woman. So I'm a lot less interested, and it looks kind of bland. Anthony Mackie's a good Falcon, though. He's a good Falcon. Sebastian Stan, I don't know. He's very stoic in all of his roles, so I don't know. Maybe he'll be the next Luke Skywalker. We'll find out. WandaVision does look pretty good. I'll check out WandaVision, but I'm wondering if they're going to be short episodes. And that's what Disney's going to produce. What did Bob Chapek said? The perfect mixture of creative freedom and audience-driven data, or enhanced audience-driven data for our direct-to-consumer platform. Sounds sexy and fun. But as usual, there's just a bunch of virtue signaling bullshit. And sure, they're going to make a show. The She-Hulk show is going to suck because Dana Schwartz is writing it. And we all know what Dana needs. She needs ass. She was the first person to sign up for his clown OnlyFans. I have good information on that. She-Hulk could be a great show. It could be the female Deadpool. If you made it sexy, like John Byrne, it would be immensely popular. But it's going to be feminist She-Hulk, and nobody's going to want to watch that. And they have Daredevil. They have Daredevil out there. They have the rights to what was the best thing they've ever produced. As shitty as most of the Netflix shows were, Daredevil season 1 and 2, remember how high our hopes were for everything else? Because after we saw those, we're like, oh my God. Because comic book stories belong as serialized storytelling, and it was done to perfection with Daredevil. Now, Disney's not going to get hardcore with this stuff. They're giving us a lot of talk, but I don't know if they're capable of doing rated R. We'll find out with the Noah Hawley Alien, which is interesting, but it's probably going to be, intersexual feminists team up with aliens to kill men. I hope I'm wrong, but yeah. More recently, the rumor from Thomas Polito detailed that an Ironheart series was in active development. Active development just means we're really thinking about it and we're probably going to make it, but we haven't done shit yet. Active development is we went to 2 lunches, did some coke in the bathroom, talked about it for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to hire somebody else to take care of everything. With a targeted shoot date sometime next year. Sometime next year. There was also a rumor in April 2020 from Scooper Mikey Sutton that Williams would show up in a War Machine Disney Plus series, which they already announced. And she probably will. Scoopers. There it is right there. Scooper Pooper. You can see what I was looking at on eBay. I wasn't looking at Jet, though. I don't know why Jet was there, but I was looking at this right here. I don't know why Jet is up there. But this one I was looking at. I have it in my my basket. Here's like, this isn't terrible art, but it's bland. And this is modern comic art. And this is the best you're going to get. And it's just, look at, yeah. Blood and semen, color palette. Ooh, boy. What can I compare this to? There we go. Here's some John Romita Jr. It's not great, but this is just from 10 years ago. Oh, that's not okay. I'll do the back. Okay, this is John Romita Jr. All right. And then look at Miss Marvel. Look at that. Oh. There's nothing wrong with that. And then look at that. I don't know which way to point. Jesus. Sorry, Father, if you're out there. My bad. An Australian, I already read that one. I can't read again. Those nonpartisan plans left when riots started. Yes, absolutely. The riots changed everything, Modalicious. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. The riots turned the clock back for Hollywood and the BBC. I talked to my source from Doctor Who. I talked to him last week. All right. While I didn't get anything like juicy about Doctor Who, I did get some very interesting information when it comes to the feeling, basically how they're going to forge ahead creatively. Air quotes, creatively at the BBC. And I think the same is for Hollywood. And what a lot of us suspected is absolutely true. The riots, everything that's happened in the last 6 months has changed their course. They were on a course of trying to maybe go a little bit towards the middle and try to please everyone. I'm making this, by the way, I'm just, I'm trying to make this as simple. It's a very, I'll probably get into it in more detail in a video. But he basically said the whole tone of the BBC is resolute. Now, they are absolutely resolute. They have been right all along, and they believe Doctor Who is going to double in ratings next year. Yes, they believe it will be an absolute success because they believe the tone of the audience has changed overnight. And they're once again believing what they want to believe instead of looking at the world for what it is. So they want to believe that their side, and their side is authoritarianism. They have won the day. And we will tell you how to think, not what to believe. We'll tell you how to think. And that's their attitude. So that double and triple and quadruple down that you all expect is absolutely happening. I would love to paint a rosy picture for you, but we have work to do. Some people are out. Some people are like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I'm done. And I don't blame you. But any progress that was made in 2019 is gone. And the creatives in Hollywood, that's why Kathleen Kennedy kept her job. That's why Alex Kurtzman is still around. And the only thing that's still kicking Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker out the door after the next season was the reduced episode count because of, I'm sorry, the coof, but it actually was the horrific ratings. But editorially, they think they are right. And if the ratings shoot up this Christmas, or they're up just a little bit, they're not going to look at it as, oh, it only happened because of Captain Jack. They're going to go, it's because of us. We did it. Had nothing to do with Captain Jack. We'll see if Captain Jack helps. So if you need to watch it, VPN, you can VPN in certain places and it won't count as a view. It's very important. But they believe, again, they have won the day. And maybe they have. Ultimately, I don't think so. And, they're going to, in other words, they'll probably make another movie like Terminator Dark Fate and think it'll actually succeed, which will be hilarious. And that, you know what that movie's going to be? No Time to Me Too. I think James Bond is just going to be a cringe fest. Speaking of cringe fests, I did see the, I meant to do a review on it and I just didn't have time. I did see the Batwoman trailer. Bulls Trek had the best description of her. Overweight 8-year-old. Overweight 8-year-old. I lost my shit when I saw that. Oh my God. Thank God Bulls Trek is back. I love him. Oh, we nerds are petty, but we love redemption arcs. We do. Putin's power squat. I agree. I think we always want to see a path to redemption. I think that's what's going on a little bit with the Phantom Menace and Mandalorian. But there's a path to redemption, and then they gave you a crumb of something good and you're like, I'm back. I mean, that is seriously like the husband, didn't hit you for a day and all of a sudden you think everything's okay. Disney Star Wars is Disney Star Wars. All roads lead to the Force Awakens, to The Last Jedi, to the Fall of Skywalker. Don't be fooled. And they're going to use Ahsoka Tano and the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda to do it. And it hurts to hear because you love Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian's a decent show. And, in a lot of ways, it's the Clone Wars for the prequels. Except the prequels, while if they pissed off a lot of people, they didn't piss them off for agenda. They pissed people off because they had an idea, and I'm one of those people who was pissed off. I thought they ruined Darth Vader. I still do. But they're Shakespeare compared to the Disney trilogy. I will give you that. Have some coffee on me, sir. Thanks for the entertainment. You are quite welcome. Thank you for being here, TJ Rowan. Thank you for the $10. Putin's Power Squat. Thank you for the €2. Thassio for $4.99. Have you seen the first 3 episodes of season 5 of The Expanse? I have. I thought they were excellent. Damn near perfection. That's how you do it. That's how you make modern science fiction or any science fiction. You create characters that people like. You tell a story. The story comes first. It comes second, it comes third, it comes fifth. It's everything. The stories and the characters are everything. The creator's agenda has nothing to do with it. And this is the kind of show that can really put across a message without hammering you over the head and showing both sides. And in the second goddamn episode, one of the best lines came out of this series. And it was a character talking to Fred Johnson. He goes, you know what your problem is? You assume the underdogs are always the good guys. One of the best lines I've ever heard. Don't ever assume just because they're an underdog means they're the good guys. They're in the right. Not necessarily so all the time. Well played. That's why this series is good. And there was an actress from Star Trek Discovery in this show, and it took me a minute to recognize her because I'm like, oh, she's really good in this, and she really sucked in Star Trek Discovery. And it's because of the writing, dummy, every time. No one in Hollywood is going to accept a pay cut to become premium TV. They're going to nuke themselves. Just enjoy their fall. JWT6577 for $5. Yeah, the Hollywood's getting a pay cut. It is incoming. Tom Cruise probably freaked out because he's not going to be getting $10 million. What does he get a movie? 30? $20 million? Oh, by the way, you want to know what I heard about Jodie Whittaker? You want to hear something? I don't know what's going on with the view count of this. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's jumping between 200. There's like 200 people who tune in and then tune out. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Something's going on with YouTube. How many of you got a notification? That is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Oh, that just went up. Just went up 100. Just like that. Crazy. Just went up another 100. Can we get another 100? No, just kidding. It's all right. Okay. You want to hear something about Jodie? This is from a confident source, so I can't say. And you know what? I'm the source. There's people out there who love Doctor Who, and they don't want to get involved in the culture war shit. They just want to love Doctor Who, but they're really pissed at what happened, and they recognize what happens, but they can't say anything because because of their professional situation. I will always respect that. I always respect it and honor it. I'm sorry you're in that situation. That's why I do not have guests that are superstars unless they're completely okay with what I say. And that's why I credit people like Tom Constantino and Seth MacFarlane for, giving me showing me a little support, because I will continue to show them a lot of support. It's not like they're going to come on my show or anything, but Tom might. But they've shown support in the past, and they appreciate the discourse. I like that, but I understand why places don't want to get involved with that, because you want to keep your interviews, you want to keep your access. All right. And as long as you're upfront about it, I'm fine with it. As long as you say, hey, I'm Access Media. Oh yeah, I'm going to be kissing some major ass so I can get these stars on. Fine. That's your gig. I get it. As long as, I never, ever call them out individually. I'll call people generally shills, mostly the Access Media. But there are people within the Access Media and other places that, don't like what's going on, and they're starting to recognize that. Clownfish did a video on the Facebook groups falling apart. I'm going to be mentioning them in my next video. I've got some more data on that. But the interesting thing that I'll share with you all right now is one of the reasons Jodie Whittaker was a failure, besides being a horrible actress, and also besides the fact that the Doctor will never work as a female. Yep. Going to say it. Said it now. Said it before. Say it again. It's a male established brand. Now, if you wanted to take a female character from the universe and give her her own show, you've already done that with the Sarah Jane Adventures, which was a massive success, and you could do it again with Romana tomorrow. But no. Instead, you decided to kill the brand. That being said, Jodie never ingratiated herself with the fans. She never went to, she went to San Diego. I think that's the only con she's been to, maybe one other. Oh, she did New York Comic Con, maybe. But she's never done small Comic Cons. She's never greased palms, shook hands, kissed babies, done what she need to do to ingratiate herself to the fandom. She hasn't done the work. She's lazy. She did not prepare for her job. She did not study for her job. She thought she could just roll in, and they have given everything to her. They have been about as sexist as you can get. They gave her every chance. And listen, credit, they paid her as much as Capaldi. But there's a reason she wasn't at these cons. And this is a suspicion, okay? She wanted to get as much money as the dudes, and people didn't want to pay it because she wouldn't bring people in. And instead of coming down on that, she just decided to not go. And it's fine. I don't think it would have changed anything ultimately. But I'll never forget seeing Peter Capaldi. Peter Capaldi was in some of the worst episodes of Doctor Who, period. But I'll still watch him sometimes because he's so great. And I'll never forget him being at San Diego Comic-Con in full costume, walking up and down a massive line, taking pictures, shaking hands, and meeting people, and being a great ambassador for Doctor Who. And he wasn't just going up to the people he liked or politically agreed with. He was going up to everybody. Sorry to see those days gone. Phoenix Tangent. By the way, I got your email, Phoenix Tangent. And that's going to be what my next video is surrounded by. So I'm not going to show it here. Phoenix Tangent for $5. I can't think of anything that's outrageous or infuriating other than the awful Doctor Who email I sent you this morning. So here's some coffee cash. Yeah, it is worth a video. We'll just say that. And it's halfway done. To clear up Friday Night Tight Super Chat, we are all aware of cancellation of the meetup advice, but ball busting is a habit and I can't break. Oh, no, bust my balls all day long. Man of War 665, Neighbor of the Beast for $20 all day long. It's fine. And I did, in fact, marry my girlfriend of the past 17 years. Oh, no, I missed it. That is awesome. So you married your girlfriend at the Vegas meetup that I wasn't at, but Eric K was there and everybody else was there. That is fucking awesome. So no more Palm Far for you. Gotcha. That's well done. Well done. Congratulations to Man of War 665, Neighbor of the Beast, for finally locking down the girlfriend after 17 years. I mean, I could ask you, what the fuck took you so long, dude? Seriously. But I get it. You know, marriage is just a piece of paper, they say. Me, blame the show's quality for its performance. Yes, you, Modalicious. Yes, Star Trek is blaming its failures on the platform. That is like the egg blaming the chicken for the egg not hatching. Are you fucking kidding me? Gray Ghost for $10. Hey, Hail Gary. Just wanted to say, as a Puerto Rican guy, that I denounce Latinx supremacy. Figured since I'm about equal and all, I should do that, especially considering Twitter decided on Latinx for me. They did, Gray Ghost. I don't know any Latins that like Latinx. And I happen to know a lot of Latins. And I don't know a single one that likes it. But they're individual people, and if an individual likes it, that's that individual's choice. But see, they want to compartmentalize us and keep us separate. Fuck that shit. Gray Ghost, thank you for being here. I love Puerto Rico, by the way. Been there twice. I loved it. Super Mastermind for $5. A lot of young Trekkies and at Dragon Con, but they dress up as the 60s stuff and are often in very good shape. Well, that is good to hear. But I did not see a lot of young Trekkies at the Trek Con. Now, which Dragon Con was that, Super Mastermind? Was it from last year? So I was at Star Trek Las Vegas last year, and there was people under 30 there. Absolutely. I would say that there's about 30%. 30%. The rest were 40 and over. 40 and over. I've got video and pictures to prove it. Listen, the thing I come up against, and Doomcock brings this up too. We both come up against it. Everybody is fandom. You love what you love. I get it. And you don't want to admit that it's failing. I get it. I was like that too. Hypnosis is what Doomcock calls it. And I agree. I have been a victim of hypnosis a lot. He says he's immune. I believe him. I'm not. I'm human. I get hyped up by stuff once in a while. A lot less now. But dude, I used to get hyped up by trailers and because I'm a nerd. So, and sometimes I'm very happy that I got hyped up. I got hyped up by Lord of the Rings, and it hasn't stopped in over 20 years. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, Star Trek, the reality of Star Trek is it's an aging old franchise and has been for a long time. And a lot of people need to come to terms with that. They do. In the buildings at CBS, not you guys, at CBS, the people in charge. Bobby Sharps for $4.99. Merry Christmas. Hope all is well and things go as planned. I hope they go as I hope they go as planned as well. I hope so. I plan to have a good time and gather with family. Lots and lots of family. People I love. And then I get to talk to you guys for 2 hours too. That is a blessing as well. So I am very happy about that. See, it just dipped down 200 people again. What the fuck is going on, YouTube? What is going on, YouTube? Please make sure you are still subscribed. Please make sure you the bell is rung. I appreciate if you're watching and you haven't, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help. Independent content creators, please do that with your favorite YouTuber as well. YouTube over the last 2.5 months has been nuts. Not for everybody, but for this channel, it's been a little rough. We've gone through rough patches before. It ain't no big deal. And you know what? If it's the end, it's the end. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, though, because I'm having a good time. Keeper of the Track, and welcome to the proto-molecule level. Again, The Expanse was brilliant. I watched it twice. I watched all 3 episodes twice, and this was a better opening than last year, which I thought was a pretty damn good opening. Now, this season doesn't have Ashford. It doesn't have Miller, and that's going to be a big... We'll see if it's a big problem. But it looks like everybody's holding up great. Dominic Tipper is great. Nomi Nagata. Wes Chapman is the fucking man as Amos. Steven Strait is, he's Holden. He is freaking Holden. I hate to see Cass Anvar leave the show as Alex Kamal because he's brilliant. Bobby Draper has finally grown on me. I forgot her name, but she's really good. And Christina Avasarala. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce her real name. Ugadushlu. She is brilliant. It was brilliantly written, brilliantly directed. The special effects make Star Trek Discovery look like a fan film from the 70s. And, I disrespected fan films. Just something really bad, we'll say. It makes a lot of TV look really, really bad. David L., thank you for the $2 donation. I appreciate it. David Queenman for $5. Your content has been a respite amid the coof and woke Hollywood Trojan horrors. I fully expect you to proudly sing Texas, My Texas on your stream for us. When I arrive there, I will. And I'll do it. I can't wait. Hail, Gary, thanks for all that you do. Will you please give my small entertainment YouTube a shout out? Sure. Would appreciate it very much. The Mashup, please go check out. Thank you for the $5. Please go check out the Mashup. It is right here on this platform. Going to check it out right now. And there you go. There's the Mashup. They have 102 subscribers. They would appreciate your support. And thank you for supporting me here. We got you. Smooth Jam California from the UK for £2. I can't wait for the sequel of Santa's Ex-Husband. I know that's the sequel to Santa's Husband. It is. All right. So we had Riri Wilson. Why do I keep saying that, dude? Stop saying that. We had Star Trek. Now we need to talk about Miss Marvel. So let's go to Kevin Feige. Let's go to Kevin Feige himself and see what he says about Miss Marvel. It's going to take me a second to get here because he was after Disney, right? There's Disney. Oh my God, how bad was Kathleen Kennedy's? We are really excited to tell you about the Rangers of the New Republic and Ahsoka. Oh, and it was really important for somebody to tell me that so what they announced, what Disney announced, they didn't say in the meeting that any of that stuff moves the story forward. Within the meeting that I was reviewing, they didn't say anything was moving forward. I suspected Visions might do it and the Taika Waititi film might do it. It turns out that Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron, which is a title of an old video game that takes place after Return of the Jedi, right? And it's also a book that takes place. Well, now it's going to be an original, but it's not original because Patty Jenkins said she already had the script written, so they repurposed the script, and it's going to actually move the story forward, but it doesn't. It's not going to tell you what's going on with Rey or anybody else. It's going to be a squadron in the outer rim or the outer rimmers. Maybe they'll be called the outer rimmers. I don't know. But technically it might be moving the story forward if we see it in theaters in 2023. Who knows though? That guy looks like Peyton Manning. I'm looking for Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige. God, this thing was 3 hours long and I watched the whole thing. There we go. Can you see that? All right. This looks pretty good. But that's not what what we're going to go to. Give me a moment. Oh, yeah, that's what I want right there. So they're going to talk about what if there's Marvel Zombies. What if? That looks all right.
Give me the tour.
I gotta turn that sound off. Hang on. Waiting to get to Miss Marvel. And then we have, here we go. Oh, is that Shang-Chi? And the Legend of the Ten Rings. I'm not excited about this. I liked Master of Kung Fu. Oh, look, Michelle Yeoh. It's an Asian movie, so we need to put Michelle Yeoh in it because she's the only Asian in Hollywood. There we go.
Miss Marvel is a Pakistani-American teen superhero. Earlier this year during shutdown, we held online auditions all around the world to find our Kamala Khan. And we found her in Aman Vellani. Aman will be surrounded by a phenomenal cast and creative team that will bring this story to life. So here's an early look at Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel is a new kind of superhero. But at the core of all of it, her story is so universal.
Miss Marvel is one of the newer characters in the Marvel comics. And when one comes in that grabs the world's imagination like this, the questions are...
Okay, Kevin, my boy, buddy. For one, he was not selling that. Miss Marvel is a brand new character. It looked like somebody was either sticking their finger in his pooper or they were squeezing his nutsack. I can't decide which one because didn't he look a little like Miss Marvel. And then captured the world by storm. Kevin, you're full of shit. It's starting to look more and more like the MCU was really good, and you guys are going to really disagree with one of these names, but it was really good when Jon Favreau was there, and Kevin Feige, and Joss Whedon, who's more of a Marvel. I know the Snyder Cut guys are all, it's okay. It's fine. I don't like him either, but he's more of a Marvel guy. And when they had some of the Marvel creatives there, this is prior to Kevin Feige culling everyone, blaming everything on Ike Perlmutter, and then taking over Marvel from Ike Perlmutter. Kevin Feige is a killer. The dude's a shark. He looks like Opie. He's all nice. He's all Miss Marvel. But man, behind the scenes, cutthroat. The dude is straight up cutthroat. He took Marvel from its owner. Now, I mean, Perlmutter, they demonized the guy because he's a huge Republican supporter, huge supporter of Trump, but nobody's ever heard him talk because he does not give interviews. I think he's given a couple, but like that's it. He doesn't like his picture being taken. He's a recluse. I don't know why. Maybe he's shy. Maybe he doesn't want any part of this shit. Maybe he's a very shrewd businessman and doesn't want any of these distractions. Now, what kind of you'd think a business owner like this would own like an arms company or something like that, but they own Marvel Comics for some reason. I've always thought it was weird, but I also love it. I love the fact that people for Marvel work for Ike Perlmutter and make him money, and then their money, after all they've done, goes to causes that will absolutely keep them up at night. And yeah, I like the schadenfreude of that. I do. I enjoy it a little bit. Especially since how badly, if they didn't treat fans like shit and they didn't destroy the medium I've loved for my entire life, I might feel differently, but I don't. Sorry, not sorry. So let's talk about Miss Marvel taking the world by storm. Now, I'm not a video game player, but I believe it or not, I watched a lot of the live streaming of young Ripa playing the Avengers game. And it, honestly, I would rather play Ultimate Alliance. It looked a little more fun to me. Now, I did play the hell out of that game, and I freaking loved it. But isn't that game an absolute failure? Didn't it cost the company who made it like millions of dollars? And yeah, I'm sure it's due to the gameplay, but wasn't one of the central figures that immensely popular captured the world by storm the Fister? I'm sorry. Mephister. Oh, I'm sorry. Miss Fister. I'm sorry. Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel, whose costume is a blouse. Is a blouse. Because of the bigotry of low expectations. They wanted cosplay. This is why I don't like cosplay, because cosplay and fan fiction have now become the industry. Pop vinyls, cosplay, cutesy pootsy comic books, and fan fiction have become the comic book industry. Sana Amanat put herself in a comic, made the costume more accessible to the marginalized people who might not have as much money to build a costume. You don't fucking know that. It actually means more when the costume is more intricate and somebody is able to make it for next to nothing. That's called creativity. That's what makes creativity. If you make things easier, then you're not going to get the same reward out of it. And if you feel like you need to make things easier for people, you're a freaking bigot. Because you don't think they can do it on their own, that they're not resourceful enough, even if they don't have the money. Very large part of my life, I didn't have money. That's how I became fucking resourceful. Very resourceful. I didn't have money to eat. But I managed to always find a way. Because I had to, or I starved. That being said, Miss Marvel has captured the world by storm. You know that? Let's see what other bullshit Kevin Feige can come up with out of his mouth.
When are we going to bring Miss Marvel to the screen?
When Miss Marvel first came out, we had such an incredible reaction.
Oh, there she is. Her family used to work with the Obama administration. She failed at another job and they dumped her off at Marvel Comics. As a lifelong comic book fan, this is the woman who wanted to turn Marvel and has into a lifestyle brand. Cooking, handbags, wallets. Fuck the comics. She's the executive producer of the show of a character based on her. Does it get more narcissistic than that? I don't think so.
And it was so incredibly popular because
Okay, what? I'm sorry, what? You say it was popular? Oh, I went back too far and I can't fast forward. Well, I can, I guess.
But at the core of all of it, her story is so universal.
Miss Marvel is one of the newer characters in the Marvel comics. And when one comes in that grabs the world's imagination
One
like
of the
this,
newer
the questions
characters.
are, when are we going to bring Miss Marvel to the screen?
When Miss Marvel first came out, we had such an incredible reaction.
it was so
Did we?
incredibly popular because everybody could see
Was
themselves
it?
in her.
I never saw a young teenager of color, specifically a Pakistani, in a comic book.
You never saw a young teenager of color in a comic book. Probably because you didn't read a comic book. I don't know about Pakistani, but there was... Oh my God. Didn't Ethan create one for the X-Men? Like, oh my God, I'm blanking on the name. It's like Dust.
Are you kidding?
Promised you'd be cool.
I am cool.
The casting process
Oh boy.
was vast. When we discovered Iman, we knew that she was Kamala Khan.
It was a unanimous decision.
Yeah, I can't comprehend this right now.
And then, of course, we've got a really incredible team of directors.
Is that directors or is it like a freaking British pop band? I can't, especially the guy on the left. Is that Ali G?
Bilal Falah, Adel Al-Arabi, Mira Menon, and Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. And all of them are
Because we can only have Pakistani and people who practice Islam working on a character that does the same, because we're all, into racial and religious segregation now. Thank you.
taking the material and elevating it.
So human. It's about a teenager figuring out who she is and about relationships. Family and friendship is at the heart of the MCU canon. That's what's so exciting about the story that we're bringing, is that we're going to introduce you to a new family that's also going to be part of the wider MCU.
We've been saying this since the all different Marvel was introduced. It was introduced specifically for this. That's what it was there for. Didn't give a damn about the comics. Never gave a damn about the comics. It was there as a template so they could do this. So this is their end game. This is Disney's end game. And they can hide it right here. But if they actually felt like it was going to be successful, this would have been a movie. But they can make it a series. They can all go to their little cocktail parties and talk about, well, we made a Pakistani girl superhero. We are more enlightened than you are. I mean, we had to give her every chance possible, and we hit all the actual numbers that nobody's watching it. We really blew past the fact that they canceled every single comic book they tried to come out with because she wasn't really that popular. And we absolutely lied by saying this character is popular and took the world by storm. And my God, it looked like Kevin Feige was forced to say that it was even a character. But despite all that, we're better than you. We're better than you. Disney.
The fact about Miss Marvel is that her idol is Captain Marvel. And
3 women of color to counteract the white woman. See, white feminism is on its way out. And guess what? That fucking 5 minutes blonde white women had of playing the victim, pretending they were a minority or an oppressed class when they're actually the most privileged fucking thing in this country, is over. It's over. And it's also over for the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, who we will lovingly call Dr. Karen. It's the same reason they're booting her ass too. That is according to my sponsor, White Feminism. Oh, it's hilarious how they eat their own. And honestly, Monica Rambeau is the Captain Marvel I knew, the one that was in the Avengers, made a big splash. By the way, that comic came out in 81, 81 or 82. Can't really remember what, but it was in the early 80s, prior to black people existing in entertainment, which supposedly just started in 2016. But Captain Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel, was in a comic book 3 decades ago. Oh, wait. Oh, my Lord, am I getting that old? 4 decades ago. 4 decades ago. I might take a 5-minute break to go and weep for my youth. Nah, I don't cry. What about the interconnectedness of your segregation? Oh, and the Eternals. This is going to be a hot mess. And this could have been good if they actually approached this like, we want to make this love letter to Jack Kirby. I mean, like, a lot of people didn't like Ragnarok. One of the things I liked about Ragnarok was there was a lot of Kirby in there. They even did a Kirby crackle. But there's a lot that there wasn't to like either. Like the fact it looked like it was filmed in front of a giant freaking green screen.
The universe. With next year's Eternals, we're introducing a brand new ensemble of superheroes.
Do you think he mentions the LGBTQ representation? I can't remember.
To the MCU, played by a spectacular cast. This is an epic story spanning thousands of years, and it's one of our most ambitious films yet. It's set for theatrical release on November 5th, 2021. Original Avenger Jeremy Renner returns.
Okay, so Disney, the only reason they are saying theatrical release right now is because they didn't want to look like they were reacting to Warner Brothers. That's how petty Disney is. Black Widow is not coming out just in theaters. It'll come out in some, but it will be on Disney Plus. Bet the house. Bet the freaking house. The Eternals will be released on Disney Plus probably before November. Bet I don't know about before November. I'm not too sure about that, but it'll be released on Disney Plus. Bet the house. And the only reason they were saying theatrical release is that shows you the difference between Warner Brothers and Disney. Disney knows the truth. They know you know the truth, and they're still going to come out there and go, we're going to do this because we'll announce it on our terms. And we're not going to look like we're reacting to Warner Brothers, even though everything we did in this meeting was a reaction to Warner Brothers. Bet your ass their Photoshop department was fucking hard at work over the last week, and they were hard at work. The Rangers of the New Republic, I bet you, and listen, that's the one series like I'd be interested in because of Gina Carano and possibly Bill Burr. I don't know. Nobody said that. I just assume it because that would be awesome. But, I think that series was made up in the last 2 weeks. I think they're like, oh, fuck, we need something. What was one of those rumors? Oh, Gina Carano and Bill Burr. Okay, mock something up. Call it Rangers of the New Republic because she just got a badge that last episode. Yeah, and we'll probably change that title later, but let's go with it. Okay, good. Oh, and don't forget to tell Kathleen. And don't forget to explain what the New Republic is, what Rangers are, and that it's actually a Star Wars show. Okay? And for whatever you do, if she offers you coffee, do not drink it. It's some of the worst shit I've ever had. Yeah. Viking Insane. Oh, shit. I just lost you, buddy. There you are. Star-Lord butt sex with Rocket Raccoon. Well, that would be bestiality, and that would be wrong. No, I want a big, sloppy, sweaty threesome with Galactus and Drax Yeah, no women, no buy. Show me how much you got, Kevin Feige. Let's see how much you actually are back the cause, brother. Nathaniel, by the way, he had to sign off on that. So he knows it happened, and he said it was okay. If it wasn't okay with Kevin Feige, it would not have been done. Now, does Kevin Feige like it? Does he feel like he was forced to say yes because he would look like a big homophobe? Well, I just like to point out to some people, if you don't have sex with a man, you're considered a homophobe. I don't care. It's bullshit. But that's what's going on right now, and that's where entertainment's being leveraged. Nathaniel Larson for $5. Gary, I wish I had a few million, don't we all? But maybe in a few years, we all will have a few million, but it'll be worth a few thousand. I would fund some independent creators like the Astartes guy and crush Hollywood. Also, Expanse was good. Yes. Yeah. The Astartes guy with Warhammer 40K, that shit is good. No, independent. It's going to take time. The independent movement is happening. And the thing is, when it takes over, it's no longer the independent movement. You know, remember when alternative rock became rock and they still called it alternative? And it's like, no, it's not really alternative anymore because you became the mainstream. The Twinkie Kid for $9.99. All the shite happening everywhere. We have to be running the plot of the Emperor Doom graphic novel from 1990. The Purple Man is probably plugged into the internet. Yes. David Tennant's the Purple Man. The only good thing. The good thing about the Jessica Jones series, he was great. I'm a big fan of Guardians of the Galaxy movies, but I've only read some of the modern stuff from the late 2000s, early 10s. Which older titles would you recommend? I would recommend anything here. I don't think they're collected. I could be wrong. You said, okay, read the book. There's a big long series from the 90s that's really good that I liked a lot. But no, get this stuff. And then there's a 70s run. It's a little expensive, so you can buy it collected. But the Guardians of the Galaxies from the 2005s, 2010s, from around Annihilation, that was the best shit. And that's what the movie's based on. It's all based on that. You probably can't see it. It's on the other side of my my comic rack. On the opposite side, I've got all the Guardians of the Galaxy from the 2010s and early 2000s. Great shit. I'm no longer into redemption. I want them to fail. I don't care if these franchises die in the process. JWT6577 for $5. Yeah, that's where I'm at with Doctor Who. I'm not about turning this franchise around at all. I was for a long time. I tried. And you know what? I said, hey, maybe we can come together on this and find some compromise, and they could have done that. They could have just made, everybody's been waiting for the first Black Doctor. Do it. What's taking you so long? Instead, we get a white woman, a Karen with a Karen haircut. Are you fucking kidding me? But I'm not about that anymore because you know what I was met with? Nazi, bigot. I'm like, okay, I don't need to talk to you. I don't need to compromise with you at all. Yeah. I'm just going to speak my mind and I will chronicle its demise. And now Doctor Who is just something I mock. Fred W. Manzo for $3.99. Thank you for the cuppa. I appreciate it. Rebecca Gold. Ian, how's it going, man? Have a tea on me, mate. New Year's Day, Doctor Who. I'm not watching. Keep it going, Gary. You're not going to watch. Okay. I got to review it. If I didn't review it, I wouldn't watch. And I will reset the story here. I wasn't going to review it. I wasn't going to watch any Jodie Doctor Who. I was done. I was like, I'm going to preserve it in my mind. Peter Capaldi was it. I didn't even watch the regeneration. It got right up to where his regeneration started and I stopped the episode and I refused to watch. And then somebody talked me into watching it. I've got another Doctor Who video coming out. John Ochiltree. $4.99. I cater movie sets in NYC. Did 4 in the past 3 days. Practically no one is following the 6-foot rule. Don't know what Tom Cruise is freaking out about. John Ochiltree, thanks for passing that on. I'm glad you're working, buddy. And thank you for being out there working. Tom Cruise was freaking out because Tom Cruise is a freak. He's a freak. Sassy Marie for $2. Thank you for the farting dog. I think it's very cute. Zathras for £5. Zathras gives €5 to Nerdrotic because Zathras cares. Yes, he does. Though no one listens to poor Zathras. Zathras, I'm listening to you. I'm looking at your avatar. Is that you holding a stick, or is that you holding something that rhymes with stick? Full Metal Vash 7 for $5. You should check out OG Gundam. I should. It's a Gundam. Recommended some OG Gundam to me, and I'm going to listen to It's a Gundam. By the way, his show was fucking epic. Oh my God. It's by far the most viewed Friday Night Tights ever, and we'll have him back. Lost my chat, and since fat fingers and touchpads don't mix, thank you for all the chat from the old lady and I. Man of War 665, neighbor of the beast for $10. Thank you very much. You rock on, brother. You rock on. Gray Ghost for $9.99. Finished watching both seasons of Altered Carbon. Find it kind of humorous. Joel and Anthony got to play Takashi's sleeves, but for Will Yun Lee's turn, Netflix goes and cancels it. And Poe was great, though. Season 1 was good. Season 2 was shit. Poe was the best thing in it. Anthony Mackie, it wasn't his fault. The writing was shit. Well, for one, they didn't have the same writer. Season 2 had a different writer. Steve Blackman wrote the first one. And he could be woke sometimes, but when he's not woke, he is great. And he had something to do with Legion, Daredevil, all the good shit. So when he's not being influenced by his politics, he puts fucking good shit out. Gary, I love you, but Miss Marvel costume is designed to cover her properly according to Muslims' customs for her age and religion. Irony, I've been to Egypt. Oilers Workshop for $4.99. I understand why it was designed, but no, it was designed to be easy to cosplay. Period. There is no, they backed it up by, oh yeah, we want to cover everything because she's Muslim, but let's take a look at this costume. It's on the thumbnail right here. There you go. Whoops. It covers her, and it's also easy to cosplay because it's just it's not a blouse, it's a dress. It's a little dress and a basic mask. But Oiler Workshop, if you're telling me that they did that for Muslim custom and not for easy cosplay, I would say you're wrong. Because they've done a bunch of other costumes that are very simple like that as well to make it easier to cosplay. You know how I know that? They've said it like 1,000,000 times. Straight White Mage for $2. Wasn't Cyborg a teenager of color in 1980? Yep. Well, and I'm blanking now, but after the show, I'll probably come up with like 16 other versions of that. Did you hear about Demon Slayer selling more than American comics in America? Shake my head. If they were competent, they would see that manga is doing right. Marcus Henry for $5, but they are not competent. That is the problem. That is the biggest problem. Sorry. I forgot my thing was still on. My bad. They are, the reason they're not acknowledging that is they're conflating the numbers in with the comic book industry, but they absolutely disagree with everything that's going on in manga right now with the storytelling because it's not progressive and SJW. It's very much hero's journey, lots of violence, some sex going on. And sure, there's that stuff in manga too. I don't read it all. I don't read very much, but I'm aware of it. I try to stay up with it. My son loves it. My son, who was a hardcore, he still reads old comic book fans, but now he's almost purely manga. They've lost generations. Same goes for Star Trek as well. Hail, Gary. Today I found out where Miss Marvel came from. She came from a Foo Fighters video clip for the Everlong song. The Julie Cabral for 5 rubles. Really? I'm trying to remember. Oh. Is that where Sana Amanat comes from? She came from her mirror. That's where it came from. Thank you, the Julie Cabral. Thank you. It's good to see you. Glizner for $5. Infinity War was the last Marvel movie I saw and the last I'll ever see. Yeah, I'm proud of myself. Yeah, that's a good way to end it. Really is. Leon for $5. I grew up in Nigeria. I looked up to heroes. They did not need to look like me for me to look up to them. I looked up to their values, not their skin. Absolutely agreed, Leon. You know who one of my favorite superheroes was when I was a kid? Was Power Man. I didn't understand like the racial stuff that was going on in the 70s because I was 5 and 6. I just liked his name. I liked Power Man. I have all of those comics. I didn't make a difference to me. And I'm glad to hear that. And no, somebody who is confident, who is, self-adjusted, knows that you can connect to something on the human level. Only a child needs to see themselves in a TV show or a film, because that means you're playing it out in your head like you're that character, like you're pretending to be that character. Think about that. I mean, listen, there's no shame to my game. I know I'm 51 and I'm sitting in a room surrounded by action figures and toys and fucking video games, and it probably says that there's a lot of shit wrong with me. I'm okay with that. I am totally okay with that. I love this shit. And I will always love this shit. But I know when to be an adult. I know when to turn this stuff off. I know when to go be a dad. I know when to make sure my kid is doing his homework. I know when to go out and pay my bills and do the mundane adult stuff of life. And then I could come in here and enjoy it. But I don't pretend I'm superheroes in my head while I'm watching the movie. That's a little bit too much. I bet if the camera panned out, Feige is, I always say that, Feige is holding a newspaper. Love your stuff, dude. Thank you, that nobody guy. I appreciate it. Oh boy, that's going to get clipped. 3-way with Star-Lord, Cyclops, and Wolverine on the moon. Make it happen, Feige. Jason Smoot for $10. Damn straight. Show me how down you are with the cause. As a matter of fact, I want Star-Lord, Cyclops, Wolverine, Drax the Destroyer, and Galactus to go to the Folsom Street Fair. I want a whole, you know what? It could be secret invasion of this Folsom Street Fair. And there's like gay scrolls or something. Yeah, show me how down you are with the cause. Russian bot. 1918 for $5. Tom Cruise mentioned insurance. If they see failure to comply with requirements, no payment for business interruptions, that's millions. Legit anger. I think there was, I do not doubt his anger was legit. I don't think that was for show. I think he was genuinely mad. No. I think he was genuinely mad, and then he does what adult pretenders do. He amped it up to 11 because he is dramatic. I'm an actor, so I must act at all times. No, the reason I say adult pretender is not for when the camera's on. It's for when the camera's off. Kit Kat for 10 pounds. The junk Trek now being churned out in Canada fails not only as Trek, but in basic terms of writing, acting, continuity, and cohesion. It is garbage, even taken as generic sci-fi. Could not agree more, especially when you compare it to The Expanse, which was phenomenal. Phenomenal. I did a review last night and a lot of people didn't show up. That's the problem with dropping something at a random time. I think they made a major improvement by releasing it weekly, but they need to do it at the same time. That's why more people will come to reviews and be interested in it. But I think they made such a big mistake in season 4. I just don't think there's a lot of people watching the show right now. It needed a bigger fandom. It did. And it could have had it, because you know what I'm going to hear for the next 10 years? You know what you're going to hear for the next 10 years? Hey, I found this show. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called The Expanse. Damn, it's good. I wish I would have watched it when it was out. Oh, I promise you that's going to happen in chats. I mean, I just saw Critical Drinker. Lady Greymaster pointed out going, yeah, damn, The Expanse is good. Yes, The Expanse is good. It's damn good. Been saying it for years. I started this channel talking about The Expanse, and then there was a listener, or was a viewer who liked it as much as I did, and that viewer went over to Doomcock's channel. That viewer got Doomcock into The Expanse. So then Doomcock got into The Expanse, and then other people started doing it slowly, and it helped a little. It got saved, but too bad it didn't help more. General Zod for $5. Shat, do you think of Doomcock's take on Star Wars? What do you? Oh, it says Shat, but I think you meant put W there, General Zod. My bad. I should figure that out. It's okay to typo. I do it all the fucking time. I'm not judging. Kneel before Zod. Dude, they need a proper 1/6 scale General Zod figure. They have that one. It's not great. I own it because it's the only fucking one they have. But Hot Toys needs a Superman General Zod figure and an Ursa. Oh my, and Non. I want all three of them. Come on, Hot Toys. What the fuck? Why aren't you working on this? I would buy the shit out of those. And I can't believe Az didn't invite me to the Hot Toys thing. No, I'm just not. I don't care. We do BB&C and we show off our Hot Toys there. What do you think of Doomcock's take on Star Wars Erasing the sequels? Did you watch my video, General Zod? My video I did on my last Disney video, I gave my take, which was, I do not believe they will erase the sequels. I want them to badly, though. So if I am wrong, I will happily buy Doomcock many lunches and be very happy to be wrong. But I just don't see them doing it. And we got a lot of evidence that they're not going to do it. We got a new Star Wars timeline from StarWars.com. They clearly say all roads lead to the First Order. The last episode of The Mandalorian clearly mentions Order, meaning First Order. Jon Favreau in 2019, as a matter of fact, September 4th, 2019, mentioned that The Mandalorian is going to show the building of the First Order. It's not going to be directly about that, but it's going to show it in the peripheral. So no, all roads lead to Jake Skywalker. So for everyone, it's fine. Enjoy whatever you want, however you want. But I would think twice before I would criticize somebody for criticizing The Mandalorian for seeing through what it really is. The Mandalorian is storytelling done by data, enhanced, driven data. I shit you not. That has something to do with the storytelling. That's why it feels a little thin to you. Also, it exists to help the Disney trilogy. They're ghosting it right now because they know that its name is absolute mud. And what they're hoping is time heals all wounds and people will look back on it more fondly and that you'll forget and you'll focus on the new stuff a little bit more, which is just old stuff that's backing up their old new shit. That's what people are doing. See, Disney Star Wars ain't changing. And part of the reason it's not changing is Kathleen Kennedy is still there. Her job was saved because of Baby Yoda, and people who were mad at The Last Jedi, like a week later, went, everything's okay because cute Baby Yoda. All right. And that's fine. But you saved her job. You did. We weren't going to defeat Disney or anything. And no, I don't think they're going to erase anything. I think someday they will reset everything. I think someday they will just hit the giant reset button and they are going to remake the original trilogy. I effing promise you that. It's already on the clock. I say it's within the next 10 years. They'll remake the original trilogy, reset the entire timeline, probably remake the prequels too, and do it all over again. Why not? Free expression circling the drain. 21 looks bleak. Viking Insane for 2 Canadian pesos. It certainly does. I've always been a supporter of this platform, and I know, like Jeremy from the Quartering says, support alternate tech, and you should. I don't mean to should you, but I would. And I have tried, but I haven't had a lot of faith in it. But yeah, I need to seriously think about it now. Because YouTube changed something pretty drastically last week, and it's like, I'm already leaving Patreon because of what they've done to people. And I don't want to be compromised. I'm already compromised a little bit, and it sucks. I have to use YouTube code speak. I couldn't read Modalicious super chat because it would have affected me. I can paraphrase to it. Modalicious said that the vaccine has an early 80s disease in it. Now, I don't know if he said that in jest or what, but that's not something I can say on this platform, and that fucking sucks. I should be able to say whatever I want. You should be able to say whatever you want. But I need to be effective, and I'm not effective if I'm not here. So I have to use YouTube code speak, and I have to be careful, and I apologize for that. It's not how I feel. I want to be dropping F-bombs. I'm angry. I'm still angry that my wife lost her business. And again, it wasn't because of COOF restrictions. It was how they were implemented. It was 10% this week, 25% this week, 50% this week. Oh, you're closed completely. Oh, you just spent $25,000 getting your salon compliant. We're not going to open now. And you don't get that $25,000 back. But here's some PPP money. Oh, and then the government stimulus check is going to come that we don't want anyway. That's $600 to $1,200. Who's that going to help? I mean, and honestly, I would rather give my check to somebody who it would help. It wouldn't help me. It would just be a little extra money. I would rather see it go to somebody who actually needs it. I'm going back to see if I missed any. There we go. Okay, we're going to go down to the bottom here. Smooth Jam California for $5. Tried to watch The Expanse last year after you promoted it, but it wasn't for me. The floating sex scene in episode 1 was just too ridiculous for me. Was it? You got turned off by the float, but that was like, that scene was so meaningless. But Smooth Jam California, they actually are pretty accurate with their floating in that show. More accurate than anybody. As far as science goes in this science fiction, it's one of the most accurate. It's not accurate all the time. They still have some sounds in space. I'm not saying it's perfect, and I wouldn't want to be, because that would be too dry. It would be too clinical. But it's just enough to make it really grounded and believable. And I kind of like the sex scene because the girl was hot. Rock Flanagan for $10. Here is a little for your Cal exit fund. Thank you. Good luck on landing someplace more agreeable. I just completed my own exit. Waves from Phoenix, Arizona area. Oh, yeah. Wherever you go, wherever you went, Rock, I hope you're happy. Thank you for the $10. Yeah. Okay. So the Cal exit update. Somebody tweeted at me and said I was lying about the Cal exit. It was a troll. It was somebody who their whole Twitter feed is anti-Orange Man, pro Biden, whatever. I don't care about his pro Biden. I don't care about I don't care about any of that shit. But it just tells me where he comes from and where he thinks I come from. And I don't give a shit about that either. But I felt I should respond. We are working on it all the time. But I am no Joe Rogan. I am no Ben Shapiro. I am a thousandaire at best. We have to save money. We have a kid in school. We have to find new schools for him. We got to find the right place to live. I got to find out if I can afford to have internet there because internet is my living right now. But again, not a rich dude, so I can't be like Tim Pool and have fiber optic cable wired out to my house for $20,000. I mean, if it's like a couple thousand, sure, I can probably do it. But if it's 20,000, I can't do it. So I got to make sure I can get on the internet wherever I go. I do not want to live in a city, period. We found a place. We got to jump on it. And I don't know if we can because you got to have money down on a house. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. The mortgage is so much cheaper than what I'm paying here. I almost wept tears of joy. But we got to come up with that down payment, and we aren't even close to being able to sell our house yet, maybe in another month or two. And then we don't know if it'll sell at all in San Francisco. And we're probably going to take a loss. And then it's bad enough that my wife's life's work led up to that salon, and she had to just let it go and not sell it. My life's work is in that house. I never thought I'd own a house. I've told the story before, and I saved and scratched and was able to. I bought my first house when I was 30. It was a condo, and it was pretty cheap. And I bought my first real big boy house when in my early 40s, right? No, before that. Oh God, it was early 30s. And it was everything I had. Absolutely everything I had. Everything I had left, I bought the comic shop, and that was it. So, our entire future was wrapped up into that, and our kids' future. And, I can't take huge loss on it. So we don't know what to do. But we can't stay here. And I can't pay. Right now, I'm paying a rent and a mortgage. And then I pay my mom's rent, too. So that can't go on for very long. It just can't. But we're good for now, but we got to move. So I found a place. It's outside of San Antonio. Won't tell you exactly where just yet, but it's overlooking a lake. It's fucking awesome. And it's like cheap. It's not even a quarter of what my house is worth in San Francisco. And it looks beautiful. It looks beautiful out there. So I got to drive out there and physically check it out first. But we might jump on it, and that might move us quicker. So it might happen quicker. But just to respond to that guy, no, I can't go. I'm just going to move somewhere because I'm a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire and won't be, and that's fine. That's okay. I don't need to be. Pretty happy guy. But shit, if San Diego did not reside in California, I'd stay in this house. This house is killer. This is great. Got a great deal on it and everything. But and the landlord is fucking brilliant. I haven't had a landlord in years. So it's nice to have a landlord who's just cool as the other side of the pillow. And I appreciate that. I think he's kind of sweet on my wife, and if it gets us a few things, that's cool. No problem. As long as he doesn't act on it, I'm fine. LOL, it was actually more so because it was really slow. The sex scene was just the only thing I can remember from it. Might give it a second chance. It's slow in the beginning, but then it doesn't stop after that. I gotcha. It's all good, Smooth Jam California. For £5. At least, you remembered the sex scene. That's good. 42 years ago, they showed us a man could fly. Oh, was that today? Latino Slant? For $1. Polly, what's up, buddy? Polly. Oh, no shit. I got to watch that now in honor. Yesterday, but that's okay. But there you go. Oh, the greatest movies ever made. Freaking love everything about this movie, and my favorite hot toys are my, Marlon Brando Jor-El, my Christopher Reeve Superman, and I have the evil Superman for Superman 3, and I do have a Zod. I need an Ursa. Somebody needs to make an Ursa. Somebody needs to make a nurse. Sarah Douglas was hot as hell. Oh my God. Everything about it. I love that whole run. And Donner's cut of Superman 2 is brilliant. All right, we're going to wrap things up, folks. I'm going to call it a day. I'll be back live for Friday Night Tights. I'll also be back live on Nerdrotic Live, probably for Star Trek Discovery, or maybe even The Mandalorian tonight. I have to do a makeup review for The Mandalorian. I have to do the previous 3 episodes. I'm going to do a video. It's coming out Saturday. And then we're working on the Picard review. I've got a Doctor Who video. I'm pretty busy. I'm going to be on Unsafe Space tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific time. Unsafe Space, Carrie Smith's. So look out for that. I'm trying to work out something. Critical Drinker and I and others are talking about a movie. We're trying to get some time worked out. And once we get that ironed out, if we get it ironed out, I will let you know. You will be the first to know. Eric July and I recorded an interview yesterday. It will be out in the next couple weeks. It was fucking great. I love Eric July. Young Ripa is one of the best people out there, one of the best YouTubers, and one of the people, he's the first person I have found that is really close to what my politics are, which are really hard to explain. I mean, they're easy and they're hard. So the easy part is don't tell me what to do, and I won't tell you what you do. That's it. But it's more than that. Tom Cruise graces the cover of one of my podcasts for like the first time. No, second time. But that was just when the Green Lantern rumor. But I don't know if any of you were around. That was so long ago. Bob Flanders for 777. Hi, Gary. I enjoy your vids. I hope you can arrange moving, selling, and getting off of Krypton. Cali. Will you take your mom? Yes, Bob. I'm taking my mom with me. Mom is coming with me wherever I go. She's getting old, and I need to be close. Some more money for your down payment. If you do grab this house and open a store outside of San Antonio, it would be awesome to meet up in Texas. Phoenix Tangent for $5. That's the plan. The plan is to have the store is going to be a studio for, I'm going to do a lot more live streaming when I get in the studio. I might start doing it here. I'm going to be doing more quote unquote podcasting, which is going to be live streaming starting in January. You will see. The plans are coming. I was actually going to implement this next week, but it's Christmas and I didn't want to implement it during Christmas. And we'll see where we go from there, but I've been having a good time. So guys, thank you very much. Thank you to everyone who sent a super chat. You keep the lights on around here. Thank you to everyone who participated with your time. That's just as valuable because we're only on this train one time. Maybe I can't say that for a fact. I want to thank everyone who participated in the chat. I want to thank all of the Modrotics. And I want to thank Lady Grey Master who produced this episode. And I want to thank my good friend Perry Chan, who is a member of the Nerdrotic team and who is doing a great job over at Nerdrotic Daily, our newest channel, which is just about to hit 10,000 subs. It's fucking insane. It's really insane. So I am so happy with the success, and Perry is great. He's great to work with. He's one of the nicest people out there. So I hope I don't corrupt him. And we're having a good time. So in just under 3 weeks, 10,000 subs, channel was monetized, and it's just clips from my live streams and his brilliant editing. And occasionally I'll throw a video. Nerdrotic Live continues to grow. We are approaching 40,000 subscribers. Do you believe that for a live channel, just a live channel, which supposedly don't grow, but that might buck the trend. Nerdrotic, it's had a rough month, man. I'm not going to lie. Had a rough month. One of the roughest months we've ever had. And we're still growing. 308,000 subscribers, and it's still climbing. So I got to be grateful for that. I'm grateful for everything. Thank you for supporting me, my family, this channel. everybody associated with this channel, Jeremy at over at Geeks and Gamers, Az at Heel versus Babyface Comics Division, Odin's movie blog or OMB reviews, whatever he wants to be called. No, it's a good channel. He's got his political channel too. And of course, the aforementioned Perry Chan. Have a great day. Not all who wander are lost, and may the wings of liberty never lose a feather.
Nerderotic.com.
Thank you, everyone. Why are you still here? Go home.